Hello all of you. In this session, we'll see how to deploy the domain controllers in Server 2022. So let's start the session, guys. So this is my VMs which we created, remember, in the lab practice lecture. Now over there we have, this is my server 1. As you can see that we have a server 1 machine 2022. I installed the same server 22 data center. So if I go to this PC properties and if I check over there, so I'll see that the edition we are using is Windows Server 2022 data center. Same I used in my server 2 as well. In server 2 also I installed same edition, and in server 3 also we installed same edition. So we already know how to install the server 22 data center. So I go to my server 1 and I am going to see the IP address first. I go to ncpa.cpl is a command to open the LAN connection, and right click to the LAN connection, go to properties. Over there we have IPv4 I'm using. So IPv4 TCP/IP IP version 4 properties, and over there I'm using IP address 100.0.0.1, and the preferred DNS server is 100. Because this server is automatically becoming a DNS server as well. So that's why my primary means my first or primary DNS server is this one, this particular server. That's why I define this particular IP address, and then click on OK, close. Now first of all, for configuring the domain controller or to create a domain network, first we need to install the AD and DNS services. So I'm going to click on Start Server Manager. As you can see, it's my server manager. I just opened server manager. Now I go to Add Roles and Features, and then click on Next. Role based or feature based installation. Over there I'm using server 1. My server name is server 1 name is server 1, and the IP address is this 100.0.0.1. Now I'm choosing these two: Active Directory Domain Services, Add Features, and DNS. So we need these two services for domain network. So I go for AD services and DNS services. Click on Next. We need .NET Framework 4.8 also, which is automatically installed, as you can see that. Now it shows you the overview, what is ADDS, what is DNS, and then I'm going to check this option, check restart the destination. If restart automatically, so I check this. So if it is need restart, so it's automatically restart the server. Now click on yes and install. So it's going to install the AD and DNS services. Now as you can see that the AD service is installed. We need to configure it only. Configuration required, installation succeeded on server 1. So my AD and DNS services is successfully installed. Now I'm going to make this server as a domain controller, and the complete network is becoming a domain network. So I just click on promote this server to a domain controller. There is the option. So I'm going to configure it now. As you can see that I'm going to configure my ADDS services. As you can see that. So let me go for the full screen. Okay. So now I can see we have a ADDS configuration. Okay. Now as you can see that we have three options. So first I'm going to create a forest. So I'm going to create a RDC first, my parent DC first. So I choose this, add a new forest, and they're asking me my root domain name. So my parent domain, which I'm going to create. Now my side I go for abc.local. This is the domain name I'm using in my domain network. Now click on next. Now in next screen, it will show this forest function level and domain function levels. Now we have a domain function levels, actually a forest function levels. So if I see over there, we have some levels. Level means like imagine that if I choose over there Windows Server 2008 function level in my forest. So in this organization or in this complete forest, I'm able to use 2008 servers, 2012 servers, 16 servers, 19 servers, and 2022 servers. Till 8 to 2022, we are able to use any servers. If I'm using 2012 R2 onwards, so it means that if I'm choosing the function level 2012 R2, so we're able to use only 12, 16, 19, and 2022 servers. We're not able to use 2008 servers. So like this, we can go for that. Like if I'm choosing the 2016, so it means we are able to use 16, 19, and 2022. If you have a 2012 server and 2008 server, so you're not able to use this in this organization, in this forest. The same thing, they're asking me the domain function level as well. What kind of function level you need? You need a 2008 function level, 2012 function level, so 16 function level. If I'm choosing 16, so I'm able to use only 16, 19, and 2022, these three servers. Not below than that. not below 16, as you can say that. Now they're asking me it automatically install DNS servers and global catalog. So we'll discuss what is global catalog in upcoming lectures, not to worry. We already installed DNS, so it's going to configure my DNS as well. It's going to configure the DNS services as well. Now they're asking me the DSRM password. Now DSRM means directory services restore mode. Like imagine somehow right now your directory service is running, but imagine in future your directory services is corrupted. Your directory service is not running. So what happens in that case? Your domain controller is not running. So if you want to repair your directory services or restore your directory services, so you can use this password, okay, which they're asking for. So I'm using the same one, which I'm already using in the server login. So I'm using the same password, okay, and then click on next. You can use any password. So that password is required when you're going to restore your AD. If you have a backup of AD and then going to restore your AD, in that case you need to use that password, this password. Now click on next. Now they ask you the delegation. So right now we don't have any multiple DNS servers. Okay, so delegation means like imagine that if one of my DNS server is not running, so with the help of this particular DNS server, we are able to manage different another DNS servers as well. Okay, so right now we don't have any multiple DNS servers, so right now we don't need a delegation. So simple, click on next. Now you can see that it asking you the NetBIOS name. NetBIOS is a protocol. Okay, it is used in pre-Windows, the older Windows. If you have any older Windows, you can use the over there. We can use the NetBIOS protocol. Now NetBIOS protocol only use domain name. It's not using the complete domain name like DNS using abc.local complete name, but NetBIOS able to use only your domain name. What is single level domain name? ABC only. That's it. Now click on next. Now they're asking you where you want to save the database, ADDS database. So by default, it automatically saves in NTDS folder. So in C Windows NTDS, in C Windows, one folder is automatically created. That is name is NTDS. In NTDS folder, we are able to save my database folder and log files. In log files also, and sysvol folder is used to save the group policies. If you have a group policies, you want to save a group policies, so it automatically saves in sysvol. So these two folders automatically created, NTDS and sysvol. NTDS is used for saving AD database and log files, and sysvol is used for saving group policies by default. Now it's all the summary which we did till now. Whatever configuration we did, it shows you all these things now. And click on next. Now it's going to create this server, and now it's going to configure your AD services and making this server as a domain control. Right now it checks the prerequisites. If everything is fine, it asks you to install. Now you can see that all the prerequisites is passed successfully. Now it's asking me to click to install the click install to begin the installation. So I'm going to install now. Now this is the way how we can create the root domain controller. Now you can see that once the process is completed, server is automatically restarted. Now I'm going to log in. So it shows me now the domain name, as you can see, ABC. Previously it's not showing me when I was in work group, but right now it's showing me domain name. Okay, so I'll go for login with my domain administrator, and now I can see that I log in with my DC. And now if you can see that if I go to my this PC properties, and if you can check over there, I go down in the system protection over there, that shows me domain name abc.local. And if I showing you those two folders, if I go to this PC in C drive in Windows, if I see over there in Windows, the folder name is NTDS. See, NTDS folder is automatically created, and one is sysvol. See, sysvol folder also is automatically created. And if I open the NTDS folder, over there we are able to see ntds.dit. It's a database file. Okay, and this is what we have. These two folders are automatically created. So it's look like this how we can create the RDC. Now we are going to see the CDC. So this is my another server. Server name is server 02. You can see that we have a server 02. Now right now I'm in server 02. Now I'm going to configure first the IP address. So I go to LAN connection properties. I uncheck IPv6. I'm going to IPv4. Go to properties, and over there I use the IP address is 100.0.0.1. My preferred DNS server is 100.0.0.1. and the alternate one is 100.0.0.2. Now why I assign alternate in 100.0.2? Why? Because this server IP address is 100.0.0.2, not 1, because 1 is already defined in my server 1. So this server is IP address is 100.0.2, and this server is also becoming a DNS server. That's why we'll define alternate DNS as 100.0.0.2. Okay, and preferred is 100.0.0.1. Now in preferred DNS server, we always write our PDC IP address. Okay, now click on OK, close. Now same thing, I'm going to install AD and DNS services in this server as well. So same process. This is my server 2, IP address 100.0.0.2, and I choose domain services and DNS services. Both the services, click on next. And I'm going to restart automatically enable and click on install. Now you can see that the ADDS and DNS services is installed now. Now I'm going to configure it. So I'm going to promote this server to a domain controller. Now this time we need to choose. Now you can say that the Active Directory configuration wizard is open. Now this time we already have a forest. I'm going to create a new domain in an existing forest. Over there we have the option child domain and tree domain. Both the DC we are able to create over there. So I click on child domain. Now they're asking me my parent domain name. So my parent domain name is abc.local. Okay, and now they're asking me my child domain. So I give over there mail. So my child domain name is mail and my parent domain name is abc.local. So the complete child domain name is mail.abc.local, like this. Now I need to define the credentials. So I need to define my parent domain name credentials over there. So I go for abc/administrator and I define the password, my root DC password, and click on OK. So this is my complete over there. Just a minute, I'll go like this. Administrator at abc.com.local, like this. So I give the UPN name. This is what we have, a UPN name, user principal name, username plus username @ domain name. So that is what we have, the UPN name. So I'm using the UPN name over there. Now click on next. If everything is fine, it goes to the next screen. Now you can see that. You see my next screen. The domain function level is 2016. Okay, we are using right now over there. And as you can see that we have a global catalog. So it's up to you. You can install global catalog over there or not. It's optional one. We'll discuss global catalog in upcoming lectures. Now again, they're asking me the DSRM password and site name. So by default, as I already told you, we have a default site which is automatically created, and all the domain controllers are saved in default site. So we have only one site. The site name is default first site name, and my RDC and this CDC, both domain controllers are available in this site. Okay, now I define the DSRM password. If I want to restore my AD, so I'm using this password. Now click on next. Now they go for delegation. So you can say that this DNS delegation is automatically take by root DC. So like imagine if my CDC is down, so with the help of root DC, we able to manage my child DNS also. Okay. Now click on next. Now you can see that my child domain name is mail, so it's automatically take the mail. .abc.com, .abc.local is not taking by because it's only take the single level name. Single level means it's not taking the .local, .edu, .us. Okay, it's only take the name of the domain. That's it. It's known as net BIOS. Now click on next. Now you see that it's automatically create two folders, NTDS and sysvol, the same which we'll see in the RDC time also. Now click on next. Now they're asking me, they show me all the options which I just now configured. Now click on next. Now it's check the prerequisites. If everything is fine, it's allowing me to install the domain controller. Now you can see that prerequisites are checked successfully. Now it's allowing me to install domain controller in this particular server. So click on install. Okay, so now server is restarted, and now we are going to, now you can see that it shows me mail now this time. In RDC this shows me ABC. Now this time in CDC it shows me mail. So now I just go for login. Now you can see that if I open my this PC properties, and you can see that over there in the system protection, I see over there this is my domain name is email.abc.local because it's a CDC, that's why I take the parent domain name as well. Okay, now this, and now if you see over there, like now we'll check how it's go for that. Like imagine now I'm going to my server 1. This is my server 1. I log in my means my RDC. Sorry. Now I'm going to create a user in my RDC. Like if I click on start over there, and if I click on user and computers. Okay, now you can go for users, and I'm going to create a user. As you can see that I right click over there and going to click on new and click on user, and over there if you see that if I click on user 1, I give the username user 1, logon name is user 1, and I give the password to my user, and after that I uncheck this option. I want user cannot change password. Click on next and finish. Now you can see that I create the user 1 in my RDC. I'm in server 1. Now I'm going to server 2 and I check. I go to administrative tools, user and computers. I open activity user and computers, and I click on mail.abc.local, click on users, and over there you can see I'm not able to see the user 1 in my CDC. Why? Because as I already told you, we have a different database. RDC has a different database and CDC has a different database. Okay, this is how we can see that. Now we can see that like if I click on server 1 and if I want to manage my CDC, so I'm able to do that. Okay, like imagine if right now I'm in abc.local, I right click over there and click on change domain controller and click on it, and over there, sorry, not change domain controller, I want to change the domain. I click on change domain network, click on browse, and over there we have a mail.abc.local. Click on OK. Now you can see that. Now you can see I'm switched to mail.abc.local. So with the help of RDC, I'm able to manage the CDC. But yes, if the help of CDC, I'm not able to manage the RDC because CDC has a child. So CDC is not able to manage the parent, but yes, parent is able to manage the child. If I click on server 2, and if I'm trying to access abc.local, I'm able to, but I'm not able to do anything. I click on abc.local and click on OK. Now you can see that right now I'm on abc.local. But if I'm trying to create any user, like imagine if I'm trying to delete this user and click on yes. But see, I don't have permission to do that. Why? Because child DC don't have permissions to manage your parent DC. But yes, parent DC has the permission to manage the child DC. This is the one thing. Now let's go for my server 3. This is my server 3. Now I'm going to create this server. On this server I'm going to create a ADC now. So let's go for that. Same thing. I go to server manager and I click on add roles over there, and this is my server 3. As you can see that I'm sorry, I'm not giving the IP address. First I give the IP address. So I open go to ncpa.cpl and I open the LAN connection properties and I uncheck the IPv6. I'm using IPv4, and over there my server IP address is, this time I'm using 3. My preferred DNS is 1 and my alternate DNS is, alternate DNS is 3. Okay, click on OK and close. Now you can see that if I go to start server manager and click on add roles, next over there we have role-based feature-based installation. Now server 3 and I'm using 100.0.0.3 IP address. Okay, now I'm click on domain services and DNS services, both the services we need to make a domain controller and to make a domain network. Now click on next. As you can see that 4.8 framework is already installed, and then click on restart enabled and click on yes and install. Now you can see that promote this server to a domain controller, we have the option. Now click on it over there, and as you can see the active directory domain services, configuration wizard is there. Now this time I'm going to create a ADC. For ADC we need to choose the first option, add a domain controller to an existing domain. Okay, so now my domain name, they're asking me my parent domain name. My parent domain name is abc.local. Okay, Now give the credential. So my credential is administrator @abc.local. I need to give my PDC credential and then give the password. So there is my PDC credentials I give. I click on next. Now they're not asking me their own domain because ADC take a copy of your RDC. So it uses the RDC domain only or RDC database only. Now you can see that it using the global catalog is automatically installed over there. DNS is also configured. Now site name, we have only one site, which is default for site name, which is automatically created. So we're using the default site now, and we need to go for the DSRM password. Through that, we able to restore over AD. Now click on next. Now delegation. So I don't want any delegation right now. Now they're asking me to replicate from. Now where you want to replicate? So I choose my server 1 over there because I want that you need to take a copy of your server 1. So server 1 and server 3, these two, both these domain controllers are having the same AD database. So it's replicate from server 1. So whatever server 1 information they have in the AD, it's automatically replicate to there also. So it means that we have already created the user 1 in server 1. The user 1 is also automatically created over there server 3 as well. Okay, we'll see that. Now entity is successful. Both the folders are automatically created over there as well. Now it shows you the review selection. So whatever configure, it shows me over there, and click on install. Now it check the prerequisites. Now you can see that the prerequisite is passed successfully. Now I'm going to click on install. So now this is the process how we can create the ADC. Now just wait for it. Okay, now you can see that the server is started now. Right now I'm in server 3. So I open my servers. As you can see that it shows again ABC because ADC has their own domain. It copy from RDC. So if I open this, now you can see that I'm working in the server 3, as you can see that, and the domain name is same abc.local. And if I see over there, if I go to start and click on admin tools and I go to Active Directory users and computers, and you can see that it shows me ABC over there, and if I see over there, it shows me the user 1 which I created in my RDC. So it takes complete copy of your RDC over there. Okay, so as you can see that, like if I go to my server 1, and you can see that if I create any user over there, so it copied automatically in server 3 as well, because server 3 using, or you can say that ADC using the similar database copy of your RDC. So this is what we have, the 3 kind of domain controllers which you're mostly using: PDC, CDC and ADC.